The following episode was recorded in late 2025, and Sim and Patrick merely forgot to even do anything with it because they were two tired little boys when they were filming this episode. Viewer discretion advised. Have a nice day.
Hi, I'm Sim,
Hi, I'm Patrick.
and we're Wizard Core, a duo of friends that like to talk about movies, tech, TV shows, movies, and a plethora of other nerdy shit.
Movies with a question mark is appropriate.
Yeah. It's a different type of movie.
Yeah.
Movies?
Today's topic is, should I put this succinctly? The fact that
Movies making a comeback? A recession indicator? Also, I hate that phrase, recession indicator.
Recession indicator. Yeah, basically is the fact that for like the past
Clearly for clickbait.
clickbait.
It's gonna this whole thing. If you're listening solely on audio, I apologize. It's been
You look better than I do. Your hair is all done. You've got the fresh cut. It's all done up, dressed with good colors. Couldn't think of the name. I don't know. The point
Good
is,
colors.
The point is today we're going to be talking about the fact that for about the past 2 years now, there have been some like absolutely amazing movies
Just
coming out while the
banger
economy in the
after
United
banger.
States has been just tanking, and that is reflected in history. So yeah, I don't know. It's kind of interesting, the whole topic, because we really have been getting. I feel like it really started with which is only a year ago, but it really started picking up speed when Longlegs came out last year. That I didn't watch Longlegs until this year, but I remember when that movie released. From about that point, for the past 2 years, it's been like all these like really amazing releases. And actually, even before then, if you think about it, the second part of Dune came out last year as well, and that movie is amazing. So
you could really put that at part one, like Dune Part 1. When
Yeah.
did Dune Part 1 come out?
like 2022 or 1.
Yeah, so within that like time frame
Yeah, because
of kind of trying to get people back into the like movie theaters and stuff like that.
I feel like
I think it's been with that kind of like surge of stuff, but I feel like there is a separate again, there's like a separate like world between like the push to get people back into movies and then the actual movies that are like getting
Yeah.
people back into movies. You
marketing
do have
versus art.
yeah, you have your Top Gun Mavericks and you have your, I'm just gonna name all the Tom Cruise
Mission
movies.
Impossibles.
Yeah, all the Tom Cruise movies in the past
Which
2
are
years.
fun, and
Yeah,
are good-
no,
for the
which
most
are
part, are
like
good
huge,
movies.
the big,
The tent poles.
yeah, blockbusters. But I feel like a lot, like you mentioned, Longlegs, which was a very low budget horror thriller, but like picked up this big marketing behind it, and people got really hyped to go see it in theaters and wanted to go see it in theaters, and like there's a lot of even the monkey, like what we were talking about with Osgood Perkins and kind of like their his own like little creation of his hype train of people wanting to go see his movies specifically, and like we both liked Longlegs and the Monkey, and they were really fun theater experiences. But I would say overall, for as reviews, like movie, they were like good. They were good reviews, but I wouldn't say they were like the same way people audience treated Top Gun Maverick and stuff like that, where they was just like
it was very different.
raving and like everybody needs to go, but it's still like made its like money back tenfold.
Yeah, I think you touched on something which I think is part of the reason why, like, it's not just Longlegs. It's also something that I think like Weapons did too, where in the announcement of these projects from these Because if you think of like Osgood Perkins and who wrote and directed Weapons, I forget his name. The guy from
Whitest Kid You
yeah,
Know.
uh-huh.
You asked me too quick, and his
Krieger,
name Zach Krieger.
Zach
Yeah,
Krieger. Um,
Abraham Lincoln.
yeah, yeah. Um, those had Zach Krieger like directed like a movie before?
Yeah, Barbarian.
Oh yeah, that's right. Well, actually,
wrote and
Barbarian's
directed.
another good example of what
Yeah.
I'm going to say because that also applies with the marketing. These directors that are like newer on the scene, or if they have been on the scene, they came into the scene more in like the mid 2010s, roughly, or around there. I've noticed that specifically in the case of like Long Legs or Weapons, and there's others that or even something kind of like the Toxic Avenger,
Mm,
where in the marketing of the movies, there's been more of an emphasis on social media marketing and
mm-hmm.
not and utilizing the way that social media works in the marketing strategy, meaning like I don't even know, like for instance with the weapons remember the when the first teaser for that came out. It's a fantastic teaser, but it felt like there was a lot of intention behind what they were deciding to show and what they weren't deciding to show, more so than I've gotten from like a Top Gun Maverick
Mm-hmm.
like trailer. And obviously part of the reason why that is because like a Long Legs or Weapons, even though they're like horror movies, they're also like mystery movies as
Yeah.
well. So they need to like hide what the movie is truly about, but that
Mm-hmm.
winds up working. I think it really works well in the favor of like those kinds of movies that are lower budget to utilize that kind of
Yeah.
marketing to garner, I mean, interest from people, especially when it's from people that aren't as well known. Like Osgood Perkins wasn't a name that
Mm-hmm.
anybody really knew about publicly like we do
And
now
I would even
until he
go
released Long Legs.
as far as to say that you could point to Maverick and even Mission Impossible and Weapons and go, those were like summer blockbuster movies.
Hmm.
But Long Legs was released in theaters, if I
In
believe
like
correctly, in
February or something.
February.
Yeah.
And so that was like a February release.
So was Dune Part 2.
And yeah, and
And that
Dune,
movie did great too.
and the first Megan did really well.
Hmm.
There's just like a
And a lot of, sorry, I'll let you finish.
no, I was just there's a resurgence of those kind of like getting. They're all in the same.
Camp.
Yeah, the camp. They're different genres, but they're all on the same table right now of like getting butts and seats, to go see movies.
And I think part of it has to do with A24 and Neon specifically, because those are the two. Besides like Maverick and whatnot, those two
Hmm.
companies, from a marketing perspective, those companies are they're distribution
I
companies
definitely
and
think
whatnot. So
independent, feel like A24 and Neon and stuff definitely have big.
they have more connections, and
Yeah,
ability now.
yeah. Well, they definitely play more into. They release a lot more stuff and have like more notability to their name, and they're kind
Mm-hmm.
of known as like the weirdos that release cool stuff, as
Mm-hmm.
opposed to just some like indie schlock.
Yeah.
And so you kind of get this like mix of like, oh, this cool action blockbuster, and what the fuck is this movie? Let's go check this out. And
Yeah.
action. So you're kind of like hitting all the hallmarks of like you're feeding every beast with that. You're getting your like
Yeah.
summer blockbuster action, and then you're getting your weirdo movies.
Yeah.
And
And part of it too. We've been talking about the marketing, but the marketing only goes so far. Specifically, what we're talking about is the fact that like we've been getting a lot of really great like movies and more recently again shows, but that's a different discussion. They've kind of been coming in tandem, but the quality of these pieces of media have been like excellent, from the more independent studios to the more established studios. Like who released Nosferatu? Like was it Universal? Probably was.
I know that Robert Eggers kind of jumped because when he did Northman, he moved
Yeah, yeah, he
over
went to a different
studios.
another
It
studio.
wasn't Regency, was it?
I don't know. But my point is really is just that the quality of the movies themselves have been really, really high. And I've noticed I think part of the reason why is if you look at a lot of these movies, I mean, the ones that come to mind are like, to my mind, I mean, are like the ones you've already mentioned, and then you think of like The Substance. I brought up Nosferatu. There's been a couple this year that I can't remember off the top of my head, but the through line, or then Osgood Perkins and whatnot. But if you look at like the movies themselves, they've all been like
It's
written and directed
Focus Features and Universal Pictures are the distributor.
for
Dis,
Nosferatu
yeah, distributor.
distributor.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah,
Words are hard.
yeah,
And then the production companies are Maiden Voyage, Studio 8, Birch Hill Road.
got it. But my real point is just that a lot of these movies I've noticed are being led by writer directors now,
Mm-hmm.
which is cool because I feel like it feels finally like we are
Or
leaving
Tom
the
Cruise.
what
Or Tom Cruise.
or Tom Cruise. It feels like we're leaving the Marvel era of cinema or like the
Mm-hmm.
superhero era of cinema, which is ironic because you also have Superman and then, again another written and directed by
I don't think
Project.
we're leaving it. I just think it's kind of like fanning out a little
Yeah.
bit. It's got its cowboy moment where it just oversaturated so much that people got the fatigue and wanted to see other things and kind of been like, oh, that's interesting, that's cool, and a big blockbuster. I think that's what like kicked off with like Dune and Maverick and stuff like that as new blockbusters that wasn't something like Marvel related.
Yeah. Because I don't know, it's
Or Jurassic Park or Star Wars.
yeah, because I don't know. I've noticed that in general that if you really look at the media that's been coming out like recently, I feel like for a long time, not that there weren't fantastic things that came out over the past like 10, 15 years, but for a long time it felt so overshadowed by the superhero genre that other projects were just being not greenlit because
Mm-hmm.
they were putting all these studios, even the non Marvel DC, like all the other studios, are trying to create their own like superhero um, cinematic universe, and the only ones that really came out on top during the era was Marvel, because even DC struggled for a long time, and now with James Gunn's whole thing, it seems like it'll be good. But now it seems like um, even Ryan Coogler, who came up during
Yeah, like
the Marvel Renaissance or whatever.
mm-hmm.
Now he comes out after leaving all of that for the most part, leaving all of that and writes and directs Sinners, which is like a
Mm-hmm.
masterpiece. That movie's a 10 out of 10 all the way through, right? So like I don't know. It's and even somebody like Taika Waititi, who I don't know, I haven't seen his like more recent stuff, and apparently he's in
I
some
think
controversy.
Next
But
Goal Wins was actually really good. I thoroughly
that's
enjoyed
the one with
that.
Michael Fassbender, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
haven't seen that one. I heard it
It
was
was
good. I just
very
haven't seen it.
underrated. I think it got kind of shit on at post the Thor movies
Yeah.
because, those.
And I think even that's a yeah because I've noticed a lot of these like directors that like these writer directors, James Gunn included. You have Taika Waititi, Ryan Coogler, when they like left to do their own thing again, they like really seem to shine. Like even when James Gunn always was
What is
kind of
it?
like
Chloe Zhao just left. She didn't direct anything for like 2 years after the Eternals and is now coming back out with Hamnet.
yeah because apparently I didn't see the Eternals, but it looked like just bad.
I didn't see it either.
And
That was kind of when I was dying off of
yeah,
the Marvel
and
stuff.
everybody that did see it pretty much said it just wasn't good.
Yeah.
And it makes sense because I don't know, I feel like it's the same thing that happened with Edgar Wright, right? When he was trying to direct Ant-Man, where Marvel came in and like just wanted to have directors for hire, and they wanted to like utilize aesthetics from a director as opposed to like actually having them be a part of the project and like help determine where things were going.
Mm-hmm.
Which James Gunn had the privilege of kind of having that because of where he came in at the time and the fact that they kind of had to do what he wanted to do for the most part because of how he wrote the movie because they hadn't fully planned out everything. Anyways, my point that I keep saying my point. My point is that
My point.
my point is that we're getting a lot of really good shit because I feel like all these people that were kind of, especially in the higher end of things, were like kind of forced
finally
by the
getting
nature. They're
their
finally
bag.
getting, they're finally getting.
They finally put in their dues with the Marvel bullshit, and they're finally getting their like the one for them.
Yeah,
they did the
even-
one for.
Yeah,
They did the one for them. Now they're getting the one for me.
and it's great because they're getting their cake and eating it too, with like a nice like cherry bow on top. Because like I know in Ryan Coogler's case, he like gets to keep all the intellectual property rights for Sinners as a whatever it's going to
Yeah.
be, but just as an IP, right? And even James Gunn now being the head of DC, like before he was the head of DC, he went from Marvel to DC, made the reboot of the Suicide Squad, which is a great, awesome movie,
Yeah.
and then becomes the head of DC and directs Superman, which we both believe is a great movie. It has its problems, but it's a great movie. FYI. So yeah, there's just been a lot of that kind of stuff happening where these artists actually get to like do art again at a high level and produce things that are well liked for the most part.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I agree.
I told you, I'm out of it.
This is the sleepy time.
This is a
podcast.
sleepy time podcast
Yeah.
today. Let's read some bedtime stories. Let's have ourselves a little Swiss mocha, little marshmallows.
Yeah.
It's been a long week, everybody.
It's almost that time when we're filming this. It's almost that time of the year, actually. Getting to it. The
What
hot
time of year?
cocoa.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Happy Merry Christmas, everybody.
This comes out
I'm
like
sure. Yeah, I'm sure.
October.
Yeah, once Halloween's over, everybody doesn't care anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Mariah Carey's out and about
Again,
singing.
doing her thing.
Yeah,
But I
that's
don't
a
know.
recession indicator.
The real recession indicator is people not going to stores and not hearing it anymore.
Yeah.
That's the recession indicator.
Yeah, let's hope Mariah Carey's coming out this year.
Still, yeah.
God,
Yeah. Dude, at this point,
please,
Yeah. Yeah, please. But yeah,
we need some good.
yes. We do. But actually, that kind of segues a little bit into the other half of this conversation. We don't need to get into like the specifics of recession as a topic, but I feel like it's ironic that a lot of this stuff is happening, at least in the United States, and apparently it's affecting a lot of other places in the world right now.
Apparently,
Yes, apparently, allegedly, allegedly it's happening. No, it is happening. Just that the whole world is kind of in a recession right now, and in the United States, I feel like actually recently there are statistics coming out, at least in certain sectors, that are like confirming that we're like officially heading into a recession, even though it's been that way for a while and we've all known it. But now the people are like, "Oh, it's finally happening." We're like, "Yeah, that's basically the situation." It's funny that in that there's been, I feel like people are like actually going to the movies again.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like in a more
That's literally
like
what
to
we're
theaters.
talking about.
No, I know, but like it's kind of surprising to me that that's happened because it felt like from around 2018 to like 2023 there was this whole especially after what happened in 2020 there
I was about to say, I think something happened.
but
in
it was
there.
but it was
They
happening.
kept people from going outside.
Yeah, but it was happening before then too, because even before COVID happened, there was already, I noticed in the online discourse, people being unhappy with movie theaters as like an
I think we had
experience.
talked about that a little bit, and then that's what like the evolution of like the draft house and all
Yeah.
that stuff was, like all these nicer seats, and then like let's put a bar in there. Let's actually start serving food.
Yeah.
It's like the theaters had to get way nicer to like attract people to go. They couldn't just be like dirty popcorn and
Dirty dark rooms.
yeah, nice seats.
Yeah.
You know,
Or
dirty
people
dark
yell and
room. Yeah. Just
And other
kids
mischievous
running
activities
rampant.
happen.
Listen, I worked as a movie theater usher for some time in high school, and I caught people doing all kinds of crazy shit in a movie theater, man.
Yeah. So you of all people would know that, yeah. But I think part of it has to do with what happened, the pandemic in 2020, because after people for even it went beyond 2020, well into 20 for almost 2 years or about 2 years, depending on where you lived. So many people were literally just like for the most part stuck in their homes. So now we're 3 years later, and we're finally globally, societally, as a culture, people are finally able to like communicate in person again in a more meaningful way. Like there's been a noticeable shift in like the general attitude from everybody to going back towards that being basically how it was pre-pandemic
Yeah.
or heading in that direction. And part of that is the fact that people want to go to movie theaters again, which is great during now
The
because
only
going to the theater again, there's all these really great things coming that have been coming out and are going to be coming out. So it's coinciding with that, and people are wanting to go there in spite of the fact that people don't have money.
Yeah, the only thing I would say is that also I have noticed people talking about is with this new wave of movies is there's no like people don't take the risk on medium budget movies anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's either like low budget movies or like giant spectacle movies. And that's kind of like what we've covered so far too of like
Mm-hmm.
the movies that are getting people in seats. It's like, oh, we can either make like a really cheapo movie, not saying that they're not good either, they're terrific movies, but it kind of puts a lot of constraints. They don't put enough, trust still into like people or even newer people, I guess, to make these kind of
Yeah,
a little bit like mid-range.
I'm wondering if we're going to start seeing those again because of what's
Hopefully,
happening. I mean,
yeah.
what's happening right now, that would be awesome if that winds up happening. Like the return of the
Like
mid-budget movie finally.
Mid-budget, yeah,
Because I feel like some of the best movies that have ever been made
because it's
are
either
mid-budget. When you look
Yeah.
at it, they are mid-budget movies.
because it's either these low-budget movies that if they make past their money back, it's fantastic and you can spawn a franchise.
Uh-huh.
Or if they don't make it, then it's no skin off their dick because they don't fucking,
Yeah.
it's whatever.
It was like
it was like
it was
$2
nothing
million
to them.
dollars, yeah.
It wasn't a lot
Or
of money.
it's these giant fucking blockbusters that
Kinda need to hit.
projected
Yeah.
to hit their marker. Do they always? No, but
Well, even Superman falls into that, and
Yeah.
it made most of its money back, even if you incorporate marketing and whatnot. But
Yeah.
even that movie technically, based on projections, technically flopped. But it did. But what happened is it didn't flop. It made the equivalent of a mid-budget movie's gross, basically. Does that make sense?
no, yeah,
And now, obviously, like you can't make another Superman movie that's that high quality with what James Gunn was wanting to do with the budget of a mid-budget production. Literally only because of the visual effects side of it, and the absolute like highest of quality that movie had with most of its visual effects. But I don't know. I think there needs to like we watch this on the channel. Something like The Mummy. A Steven Sommers mid-range blockbuster.
Yeah.
That style of movie needs to come back.
yeah. Just like a fun adventure movie.
Yeah, exactly. Because
Those style of movies,
because they've been
Or was that
gone.
like a huge spectacle movie? How much was the budget of The Mummy?
I actually don't know. In '90s money compared to now, it's probably gonna seem like it was nothing. If I had to guess, it was probably like 100 million.
80 million?
Okay, it was 80 million.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I was close.
Yeah, it's about
So that's about in today's money. That's what 150, 200 million dollars.
80 million.
I'm not asking. I'm sorry. I'm not asking you to do the calculation. I'm just guessing off the top of my head. But more now. But the thing is, even now, like 100 to 200 million dollar movie is a mid-budget movie now. Like or I should say that's probably wrong. It's probably more like a $50 to $100 million movie is a mid-budget movie now, whereas back then it was like 80 million. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's kind of funny that Stephen Summers naturally came back up into this conversation because they're like well-made movies, the ones that we watched on this channel. Even if they all were kind of like varying in quality and whatnot, they like were all very like just solid 7 out of 10s.
Oh yeah.
The Mummy's a bit better than 7 out of 10, but average. They're all like 7 out of 10 movies, and they don't need to be anything more than that because they're just supposed to be, fun popcorn flicks that get people into the theater, you know. And I feel like that part is still, sorry, that part of the industry is yet to make a return. The mid-budget movie, and I wouldn't be surprised if like we start seeing that happening more from these producers and directors and whatnot that we've been talking about this whole episode so far, because they have the talent clearly
Yeah.
to do it.
I think it's about 150 million today.
For a mid-budget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, 150. 80 million is about 150 million today.
Yeah.
What would be considered mid-budget?
Today or in the 90s? Yeah, that's honestly a good question. But yeah, I don't know.
Ranging from 15 million to 100 million. That's a very wide amount of
Range.
films between 30 to 80 million, or even up to 100 million.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's more of a 30 to 80. I feel like that's more of a like a mid-range.
Mm-hmm. Because I don't want to ask what Weapons was because you'll have to look it up. But I know Weapons was definitely like not what would be considered a mid-range movie. That was definitely, if I had to guess, I haven't seen the movie, but I've only seen the material from the movie, and based on everything about what the movie is, it doesn't seem like it would cost more than like, I don't know,
I'm
a couple million.
sometimes I'm flabbergasted
Well,
at prices of certain movies.
it's-
You
well,
think
most of
they're
it has to do with
wanting,
the-
like actor prices and
it's
stuff.
it's the actor pricing.
If
it's the-
anything,
it's
I would
the
have
guild.
to give that one to like Josh Brolin.
Yeah. Well, depend. Well, when that movie came out, yeah. Sorry, not when it came out. During the filming of Weapons, yeah, because what's her face, Julia Garner. She was popular before, but when the movie was being made, she got popular off like Ozark and a couple of things. But she wasn't as big as she is now because she was Silver Surfer in Fantastic Four. So now, if like, sorry, I'm not trying to argue about this. I was just thinking about it because I realized it when you brought that up, which was that now like Julia Gardner and Josh Brolin are probably like, Josh Brolin's probably still worth more money because he's more famous than she is, but they're more evened out now. Probably.
Yeah.
After Fantastic Four.
I would just go from base up that he probably still got that Endgame money,
Oh.
that Endgame
Yeah.
underline.
Dude, both not even just Endgame.
Yeah.
Like the one that came out before
Infinity War.
Infinity War, dude.
Yeah.
Both those movies, dude. He is
Oh yeah.
absolutely set.
Mm-hmm.
Every pretty much almost every person that were involved with those movies is at least partially set from how much money that movie made. At least all the quote famous people,
Yeah, no, I think Weapons was more mid-range. It's 38 million. It says a guesstimation around 38 million to film that.
That's definitely
That's more. I think that's more of a medium.
That almost is definitely there because of the involvement of Josh Brolin and whatnot in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
But it's even cool too that like these big actors in something like mean, in Long Legs you have Micah Monroe. In The Substance you have Demi Moore and Margaret Qualley. In Nosferatu you have Lily Rose Depp and shit, he was Lex Luthor. That
Nicholas
actor.
Hoult.
Nicholas Hoult. Like in Weapons you have Julia Gardner and Josh Brolin and others that I can't remember off the top of my head. Like all these movies are like lower, or not all the ones I listed off are lower budget. My point is that these like lower budget movies are getting attraction. Yeah, they're getting attraction from these like high budget, well known, famous actors, and they whenever you like listen to even even something like The Whale with the
Brendan Fraser.
with Brendan Fraser, his big comeback movie. That's a great. Granted, that was his comeback movie, but my point is that it's cool that these people are wanting to work on these projects because they clearly are doing it for the love of the game more so than anything. Obviously they're getting paid.
I think a lot of that is exactly that.
Because a lot of these actors haven't gotten to do that in a long time because of what they have been contractually.
I think that goes with what you were saying about the whole like director thing and being locked in to all these big Marvel projects and trying to get the bag from that so that they can go and do smaller projects that interest them more with like storylines that would like require them to take.
Oh yeah, I also forgot in Long Legs, fucking Nick Cage is in
Nick Cage, yeah, man.
Granted, Nick Cage is in like anything he decides at this point.
Yeah, but he crushes it in Long Legs.
Yeah, people
for
hate
the like small part that he plays.
Yeah,
if you haven't seen it,
he is.
Spoilers. He's in it.
Doesn't look like himself.
He doesn't look like himself,
at
and
all.
He's well. They advertise that he was in it. What I'm saying is, it's a very smaller part than they.
Yeah.
I think that was like a big complaint. People are like, he's not in it that much. They use him effectively. It's fantastic.
Oh yeah. I hate how people hate his performance in that movie too.
Yeah.
I'm like, he did that for what happens in that movie. He did like a near pitch perfect performance.
Yeah, he comes in swinging.
Yeah.
Smashing.
Yeah.
In fact.
Correct.
Smashing.
I didn't actually realize that fully until right now that like not all of them, but a lot of these in the mix of these movies that are being made now that are great. In the mix of that are by people that were from like the previous era that are like unshackled by that, and they have the money and know people that also have the money to get these projects made and done and are actually worth a damn. Because I feel like for so long there were so many movies, a lot of them being superhero movies, but not even superhero movies. There were just a lot of movies were coming out that really weren't worth anybody's time to go see. And every once in a while, you'd have like Christopher Nolan, because that man does like only what he wants to do. He'd come out with something and it'd be like it still is a big deal.
For a long time, that was like the big thing was like Christopher Nolan movies
like
were
gasp
events.
of fresh air.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those were like eventful movies.
Yeah. Even in the big budget space, when you think of a movie like Barbie that came out, being written and directed by
Greta Gerwig.
And that movie,
Whoa!
but that movie being a really high budget movie, but not, how do I even describe this? It's not even like a traditional blockbuster by any means. It's basically a comedy.
Barbie?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a comedy quasi-musical with amazing amazing
art,
set
costuming, art,
everything,
all of that side of thing, casting, art design,
cinematography,
costuming, all of that's fantastic in Barbie.
Yeah. So, but the fact that Mattel, the mega corporation,
Barbie gives me
gave
like
that to
Lego
Gerwig.
movie vibes.
Yeah.
In which was like, I didn't know what I expected from this movie, but
it surpassed it.
I expected to not like it.
Yes.
And when I watched it, I was like, I don't know why, but I love this movie.
Dude, that scene of Ken when he's going up the escalator and he sees the thing of like Reagan and shit.
Yeah.
Like and it's being what it's being played set to.
And he's just like,
Is
I
this-
like
it's
how
set to the
his like
2000
reactions to stuff. He's like,
he
when
has,
he's
like-
like seeing men do stuff, and he's like,
Yeah.
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 It's like
Dude,
the funniest thing
Yeah, dude,
ever.
Ryan Gosling absolutely crushed it as Ken. To the point where he almost overshadowed. Actually, he did. Yeah, still is overshadowing
is-
Margot Robbie in the Barbie movie.
Yeah.
who plays Barbie.
I
Her
think they were
performance is great in
like
that, too.
good equals in that movie.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I think the problem
Ken was
was that
more
he like
he was more memeable.
yeah.
That's
I think
why.
I think his performance was fantastic. I think
Yeah.
both of them were really good. I think he overshadowed some of the other supporting players that were supposed to play
Oh,
way
yeah.
more. Like America Ferrera's character and
Yeah.
some of the other like characters kind of like that were supposed to be more of the heart of the film with Barbie. I think he kind of like people were
He
like
crushed it so hard. He
yeah,
just-
people were like, but Ken.
yeah, but Ken. Yeah.
But he's Ken enough.
Yeah,
Enough.
Enough. I still listen every once in a while when it comes
I'm
up.
just Ken.
Yeah, I still listen to that every once in a while because it's not like the best song ever, but it's like ironically.
Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Gosling got some chops, man.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying he's bad. I'm just saying it's not like the best piece of music ever. But it reminds me of like speaking of the Lego movie, the Everything Is Awesome song.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that.
That's what I'm saying. It gives me that vibes where it's just like they go with such a different direction that's very creative with it. That's really cool, and it could have bombed. It could have been Smurfs.
Dude, it could have been annihilated.
Not that.
Especially because Oppenheimer came out at the same time.
Oh,
It could've-
yeah.
Everybody would have
The
literally
fact that a
walked
Barbie
out
movie, like
in a Christopher Nolan movie
if
about the
you-
nuclear bombs coming
if went head to head,
Went head to head.
like fully,
and both made a lot of money.
yeah. if you like zoom out from that scenario, that's insane.
That's a crazy. The fact that that happened organically,
yeah,
too, is
something
crazy.
like a Barbie movie went against a Christopher Nolan movie.
Yeah, and both basically tied
Yeah.
in the end. Yeah,
I don't hear no bell.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
basically like that.
yeah. Still haven't seen Oppenheimer. I honestly feel I know apparently it's amazing. I've like felt no need to see that.
I have
The
thoughts.
music is fantastic though.
I have thoughts on it.
Perhaps one day we'll release a 3-hour movie reaction of Oppenheimer. It's just constantly dealing with
I
copyright.
could
strikes
barely
from all
sit
the-
through the 3-hour thing in theaters, dude.
The main thing that I hear people say that was great about it. There's many things, but didn't it win an Oscar for editing or something like that, or a Golden Globe or whatever the hell?
It was not my pick, to be honest. I was very underwhelmed by Oppenheimer.
Yeah,
To be completely honest,
2023.
I was very pro Killers of the Flower Moon.
I still need to see that. I heard it was awesome.
Watch that. I love that movie. I was really taken because we talk about The Irishman all the time.
Oh yeah,
My thoughts-
Irishman overall disappointed, but had
Okay,
absolute.
my
peak
thoughts on The
cinema
Irishman
moments.
is this. The whole movie is very slow and is kind of garbage, and then the last 30 minutes is somehow a masterpiece that should have been like the rest of the movie out of nowhere. It's just like
Yeah.
a totally
Yeah.
different movie, and it's just so crazy.
Yeah, I agree
Anyways,
with his statement.
it just comes out of nowhere, and it's like this whole thing about like what does it mean to be like a gangster, and it meant like nothing to the character, and like the existential crisis, like
It's about his.
thought
It's about his
process.
discovery of realizing
like
it was all
that
for
he
nothing.
goes through in that last 30 minutes that like
Is-
is so different from like the other sort of gangster stuff that he's done
It
that
is-
I was
it-
just
it is truly an absolute cinema moment.
yeah, no, it is.
Yeah, it's great.
And the last 30 minutes of The Irishman I could have watched that and
Just
just been perfect. Anyways, Killers of the Flower Moon, opposite thoughts on that. I think that whole Oppenheimer, the way I describe it is I sat through Oppenheimer in theaters, and that movie felt like it was fucking 3 hours
3
to
hours,
me.
yeah.
I sat through Killers of the Flower Moon at home, and I didn't fucking pause that movie. I sat through that whole thing, and that movie is fantastic. That did not feel like a 3-hour movie. That was such a good movie.
Yeah, there was.
Maybe
a-
I did pause it. We did pause it like halfway through. Never mind. That's a lie. We paused it halfway through, but it does not feel like a 3-hour movie.
Yeah. There was a movie like that I saw.
The movie itself does not feel 3 hours.
But yeah, I mean, it's even stuff like that. Martin Scorsese and his even Daniel Day-Lewis coming back for his son's directorial debut.
That feels like getting the bag. You
Yeah,
know?
it's definitely getting the bag, but it's just like it's like a pleasant surprise. Honestly, whether the movie is good or not,
Yeah,
we'll
that
have to
trailer
see.
dropped out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But that's
It's because it had Daniel Day-Lewis in it. Because he's been gone for what?
for a while.
A long
He was
time
the
now.
most like retired that I thought he was actually.
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah,
oh, he's
yeah.
sticking with it.
Him coming out of retirement would be like if Daft Punk came out of retirement, like now, after like announcing that.
Yeah.
Which I hope you guys do one day, but I respect y'all's
We'll have
decision.
to wait for their kids to become a band so they can get featured on it.
Yeah, the Jonas Brothers of Daft Punk.
Yeah.
What do they even call themselves? I don't know why I said the Jonas Brothers of Daft Punk, but
You would have to
guess-
think of like a Nepo baby. The Jonas
That's a whole
Brothers of Daft Punk. Actually, let's dissect that sentence real quick.
yeah, I don't know. I literally can't explain.
Yeah,
this.
no, I'm also just fully not there.
We'll speed bump over it.
Welcome.
What were we even talking about before the
Welcome
Jonas
to the
Brothers invaded
delusional
shit?
special. Welcome to.
That's what this is going to be called.
Wait.
Now. The delusional special.
Let's really back real quick. Welcome to Riz. Hi, I'm Sim.
Hi, I'm Patrick,
And we're Wizard Core. Welcome to the Delusional Special Deluxe Edition, where we just ramble on about shit. Fuck the original title of this episode, because we're just full sending psychosis, like it's going. Let's go.
Yeah, we're just raw dogging this episode. You can feel it.
The numbers are going down.
yeah.
See ya, subscribers. I
Yeah.
can already feel it.
yeah. Exactly. Shit, what were we talking? Oh, you were talking about Killers of the Flower Moon and how it was better than Oppenheimer. I haven't even seen Killers of the Flower Moon. I haven't seen either movie, and I know that Killers of the Flower Moon is better just by how people talk about it and everything I've seen about it.
Yeah,
I'm like this. Like,
she was robbed. What's her name? Lily
yeah.
Gladstone.
Yeah, and
I
I heard
think she
about
was
that.
robbed.
Yeah,
I
I
think
heard
she
about
should have
that.
won Best Supporting Actress.
I had no skin in the game on that one, but even just from what I heard, I was like, yeah, this seems like it. Like,
I think she was 100% robbed.
yeah. Man, you know what the problem with this topic for me is that there's been so many like different things that have come out that apply to this, that it's like, and because they've all been so great in such a short amount of time, that they all kind of like scramble together in my brain as just when I go to think about this time period, my brain is just like, that's the good period of cinema in the 20s.
That's the good stuff.
Yeah, that's the good stuff. But I don't know, even some like talking about The Substance, which is also that's a masterpiece as far as that movie. Fantastic. But the fact that it has
Demi Moore
and
comeback.
Margaret, Demi Moore's comeback.
Dude, Demi Moore pulled a
Man.
Bruce Willis Pulp Fiction style, you know,
Yeah.
just pulling out like just joining the weirdest movie with the
Yeah.
coolest just like story and
and
visuals.
Margaret Qualley's already kind of known for making, at least in movies, TV
No,
shows.
I would put
apparently.
Margot Qualley in the same thing as Julia Gardner. If you're
Yeah.
gonna say Julia Gardner is like not as bad, I think Margot Qualley is great, and she is big now. But
No.
probably by like the time that they were filming, it was probably like the same thing with like
Yeah, because she had been at that point. I know she had been in
like
Tarantino
Maid,
movie.
yeah. But so was
And,
Sydney
and-
Sweeney, like everybody.
Yeah, there was a lot. If you look at the young cast of that movie, there's a lot of like
Austin Butler,
just exactly
Nora.
pre-famous. Her too.
Yeah.
They weren't.
Mikey Madsen.
Yeah,
We'll
I
just
think
call her
was that
Nora.
her first movie, like major movie?
There's a lot of people's first major movie.
Yeah, it's crazy when you look back at Micah Monroe, Mikey Madison, and Austin Butler in that movie as those characters.
Micah Monroe, Mikey Madsen.
Correct.
Micah Monroe, the first
No.
time I saw her was the guest. She was actually kind of cut. She was actually
Oh yeah,
a big horror
I-
star
well, she
way
was in It-
before.
the first time I saw her was in It
She was a
Follows.
big like scream queen way
Yeah.
before all them. It Follows, The Guest, all of that. She was on
Oh,
a
yeah.
come up. underrated. She's been out in the game for a while. Put some respect on Micaiah
And
Monroe.
now, did you see that to put more respect on Micah Monroe? She's in a new movie that's, I forget what it is, but the only reason I even know about this movie is that apparently Charlie XCX is in it for a little bit.
That
and is
weird,
helping-
that 100 days or 100 nights, a hunter or something.
Yeah, I forget what it's called.
I
It
saw the
looks
trailer.
interesting.
It looks different.
It kind of looks like a Lorgos Yanthamos movie, but not him. But first of all, I am a fan of Charlie XCX, and I'm really happy to see that after her blow up with Brat and everything, I've noticed she's also like a film nerd.
Yeah.
And like really likes to watch movies. And I've noticed that it's after her blow up with Brat.
Dream guest on my podcast.
Dude, call it now. Fuck yeah. dude, being able to talk to Charlie XCX, the two of us just fucking doing exactly this with her, amazing experience.
Drawing blanks.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
So-
no. But I don't know.
Movies.
Apparently she's in some things, and apparently she wants to like direct some things as well.
That'd be sick.
And honestly,
I would see
it.
a Charlie XCX movie.
Yeah,
Just to see.
oh, yeah.
I want to see.
I want to see what it is.
Yeah.
Like
I want to see what genre she
I feel
goes
like it would be
towards
like
first.
Spring Breakers or something like that.
I don't know,
Or
man.
it would be like a really, really beautiful art house movie or something like that.
Dude, who knows? You get such a wild variety of musicians turned filmmakers that are both like really good and then like really bad.
Yeah.
And
Child,
I'm gonna say my opinion on one. Okay, Rob Zombie.
Yes.
I like Rob Zombie movies.
Mm-hmm.
I know people don't like Rob Zombie. I hate Rob Zombie's Halloween. I hate his Halloween so much.
I haven't seen it, but the consensus
and
seems
it's
to be out
because
on
I
that.
like Rob Zombie's version of horror, and I like his like trailer trash horror.
Yeah.
And it works well with Rob Zombie movies. When he does it with
Another
shit
franchise.
like other things, it just doesn't. It didn't work for Halloween for me.
Yeah.
And like trying to make like Michael sympathetic and have this like weird supernatural background. Michael only works as just a shark with no motive, no understanding, just evil. That's what makes him scary. And just having him have this like abusive white trash like trailer park background like growing
origin
up
story.
and you're just the first 30 minutes of that first movie is just like depressing.
Yeah.
And you're like, why am I watching this?
Yeah.
Anyways,
I had a thought to go off.
I like Rob Zombie movies. House of a Thousand Corpses, Devil's Rejects. If you like his style of like Grindhouse, if you like Grindhouse, gritty horror type of shit, like they're not for everybody, don't get me wrong. They're not necessarily great movies either. If you like his style, you'll like his movies. But that being said, it does not translate well for other things, and it's not for everybody.
Yeah.
And so that's where it comes in. A lot of musicians kind of do that, where it's their very own, like Flying Lotus had very interesting, weird visuals and stories. A lot of
Just
musicians.
came out with a new movie too with
He did a segment in VHS as well. That was
which one? The original one or the one we watched?
no,
and
the one
talked
before
about?
that one, I think.
Oh, okay. He just came out with the new, relatively new.
Yeah,
movie.
he came with Ash.
Yeah,
with
the
Aaron
one
Paul.
With Aaron Paul
it's
and
on
what's her
Shudder.
face? Yeah,
yeah, she was in Baby Driver, right?
yeah.
The
hot chick.
Eliza Rod. Is it
I think it's Eliza something.
Eliza's? Yeah.
But I was trying to think of like music. Well, this isn't a good example, but he's kind of a good example. But like Donald Glover as Childish Gambino.
Yeah, Atlanta. And
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah. Well, actually, wait. I can't believe I totally forgot about Atlanta. Then he is a good example. He's a good example because whether you like his music or not, I think he's great. But like, he's proven. So he obviously started as far as like being in the public consciousness, being himself, mainly as a stand-up comedian, transitioning into being an actor. and at the same time also becoming childish Gambino, he kind of has seen all sides for the most part of like the entertainment industry
Yeah.
because of what he has done. So he knows how to kind of do everything.
Yeah.
So but specifically, it's interesting how it affects him in Atlanta
Yeah.
with the performances that he gives as the different characters in Atlanta
Mm-hmm.
is, I think, almost purely inspired by him having been a stand-up comedian and an actor and
Yeah.
a musical artist
Well,
and
that's-
now a filmmaker.
Well, that's what's gonna make
and a writer
if
director.
Charlie XCX does end up like directing and writing a movie. Is I feel like a lot of musicians end up bringing really interesting, like different, almost like entirely different genres to like movies. You
Mhm.
know, they have very distinctive styles
And it makes
and voices.
and it kind of makes
When
sense
they're good, obviously.
Yeah, when
well,
they're
even
good.
when they're like bad, sometimes they're very different, and they're always have. You can tell that it's like, oh yeah, that's definitely their movie,
Yeah.
which is always something, even The Weeknd
Oh,
has his,
oh yeah.
his stuff.
Yeah, The Weeknd.
I don't know if he actually like directed or wrote any of those. I feel like he had a heavy-handed.
He co-wrote the one that he was just in.
The Hurry Up Tomorrow.
He co-wrote that
Okay.
one. He came up with that idea with the director.
Yeah, I feel like he did have like a heavy hand in producing both that series, The Idol. That's what it's called.
Oh yeah.
And then I felt like he produced obviously Hurry Up
he
Tomorrow.
produced. Hurry Up Tomorrow was like was my impression is that he kind of wanted that to be like his big break movie into like the film industry aspect of his career, which I think would have been more effective if he was not acting in it, but if he was just a purely behind the scenes force, like whether or
Yeah.
not he even if it was just something like he wrote it.
Yeah, I did not
Or
see
just
it.
produced
I heard
it.
the
I
one
did-
good thing was it was directed well.
Yeah. I heard it was directed well and shot well for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
But that The Weeknd himself is god awful apparently.
Yeah.
And from what I've
I couldn't.
seen,
Yeah.
I've seen clips. I've seen
Everybody's
yeah,
seen
we've
a lot
all
of
seen
the
clips of him and
memes.
memes and it's bad. And Jenna Ortega clearly is giving at least a halfway decent performance. But I'm sure within the scenes she was just like thinking in her own head, being across from him, being like, man. Yeah. Like that memed to death moment where he's like yelling at he is yelling, but like yelling at her like a teenage boy about whatever he's yelling at her
But like
about.
sand.
Yeah. Dude, it's kind of is
coarse.
that. Yeah, it's coarse. It's that, but if he was yelling.
That being said, I think whatever she ends up doing will definitely be at the very least interesting.
oh,
Good,
yeah.
bad, or indifferent.
Oh,
It'll
yeah.
be like interesting to watch.
Yeah. I agree. Especially if she did the route of like also helping. Well, actually, it doesn't really matter in my mind whether she does the score herself or if she hires another person, because I feel like no matter what happens, she would be involved in it regardless because of the fact that she's a freaking pop star right now, essentially.
Yeah. If she says it's horror or horror adjacent, I'm there day one.
Yeah, same.
I'm there
Yeah.
day one.
Yeah, day one.
I want to
Which
see
I
a
think-
Charlie XCX horror movie.
Which I think is possible. I think
Dude,
I could see
would
that.
I would pay big money
Yeah,
to see a
same.
Charlie XCX horror movie.
Oh, yeah. Just,
I want to
Doesn't
see
matter-
what's in her head.
yeah, I don't care. Yeah, like
what
you
she
said,
comes up with.
it's like bad or good, I'm there.
I'm there.
Yeah. Even if I hear it's bad, I'm still going to
Yeah,
go
oh
see
yeah,
it.
me too.
'Cause
I'm
wanna
gonna
be-
see it no
Yeah.
matter what.
Yeah, it's like, yeah.
It's bad.
Yeah,
It's like,
bad.
okay, I want to see what the fuck's up with this.
Yeah. There can be nothing that is worse than Film Geek or War of the Worlds 2025 at this point.
There is one.
That's worse.
Branded. Have you ever heard of this movie called Branded?
Branded?
I watched this movie in theaters, and it is. I swear swear to God, I've never seen so many people like I sat there with my mom and my buddy. Probably shouldn't say his name. Blank that out. And we sat through this whole thing hoping it would get better. We saw every like 10 minutes, someone would get up and leave and not come back. Get up, leave, not come back.
When did this come out?
Like 2010, I think.
Okay.
And it's about this guy who he's like an advertising. The trailer made it seem like it was going to be something cool. Like there's these giant monsters and stuff like that. And he's like trying to find them. The poster looks all cool. He has like an axe and a pistol. That's not what this fucking movie is about at all. So he's like this dude who works for this advertising company. And then he realizes like advertising companies are bad or some shit. And so he goes out and he lives in the woods and whatnot. And then he's like, can unlock this ability to see the advertisements or advertisements as monsters. So as he fights them, like...
Oh, I remember seeing trailers for this movie.
It's... Let me tell him.
I remember like these clown things in the poster.
Yeah, none of that happens. He has like weapons and shit. He never uses like any of that. He burns like an effigy or some shit like halfway through the movie. He's able to see those monsters. They represent the brands that they are like that. And the more he fights against the brands and wins, they like dwindle or like smaller in size or something like that. That's what the movie is about. That's why it's called Branded. And it's, you know, it's all about corporate overlord, but it's as subtle as a fucking sledgehammer.
It sounds like the worst version of that Matt Damon movie that came out around the same time. Where, do you know what I'm talking about? Came out, fuck, was it?
Talking about downsizing?
No.
That was already like terrible.
No, not downsizing.
Like that wasn't about advertising, but that was equally as bad.
Not sorry. Are you talking about downsizing? I never thought we'd mention downsizing on this entire
On the
YouTube
podcast.
channel. Yeah. Shit. What was it called? No. It wasn't about
Matt Damon.
It wasn't about. Jesus, not producer. I want actor only. It wasn't about advertising. It was about. Shit. Where is it? The Adjustment Bureau.
Oh yeah.
It came out actually a year before Brandon, because Brandon
That's
came
a
out 2000.
Philip K. Dick novel, I think.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. It is.
Mm-hmm.
It was a short story called The Adjustment
Not
Team.
novel, yeah. So
Sorry, I confirmed it. IMDb confirms.
yeah. Sorry, not
yeah.
novel, but short story.
Dude, even the
wrong.
poster looks similar. It's that gray, black, white, red look.
Yeah. Anyways, Branded.
But yeah, Branded,
I've never
awful.
seen so many fucking people walk out of a movie before, and we sat there. We were determined to finish that movie. It never got better.
It never got
And as a joke, my friend got me the DVD for it 2 years later, and we broke it and burned it. Which you should not
pulled
do. Don't do that.
Yeah,
We're
no-
dumb kids.
Yes,
Don't burn DVDs.
I agree. You pulled
bad for the
an office
Yes.
space,
Yeah, exactly.
but with a DVD copy of fucking Branded.
Yeah. No, seriously. He got it for my birthday as a joke, and then we were like, oh, you want to watch it? And I was like,
No.
you want to burn it? And he was like, yes.
Good call. Good call. How did we start talking about Brandon?
Dude, I don't know how we started talking about
any of this. Yeah. I don't know. We've been going for about an hour. So
Yeah, welcome to the podcast.
Yeah, I think we can wrap up probably the most delusional episode we've done so
Yeah,
far.
man. If you're still here, cool.
Yeah.
Thanks for staying with us.
Yeah.
If
for
you're
real.
still subscribed,
If you're still-
double cool. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, exactly.
Please stay subscribed.
Yeah. Yes.
And if you're not subscribed, consider subscribing.
That's true. We should start saying that at some point.
I don't want to feel like a corporate sellout, but at the same time, subscribe,
Yes.
hit that notification bell,
Click the like button.
and leave a comment.
Go to our non-existent patreon.com/wizard. One day it'll exist. This won't be a
And
joke
hit
anymore,
up
but
Gamer Subs with our code.
yeah.
We don't have a code. That's the code.
Code Surfshark VPN. That's where we're ending it. That's the title of the
And it
video.
will lead you to a link, and you can claim your exclusive character at Raid Shadow Legends.
Yeah.
We did the full sellout deal.
The full sellout deal.
YouTube offered us $200 to sell out at the top. At the start, we took it. We're like, it's not getting better than this.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm Sam.
I'm Patrick.
And we're
Wizard Core. Surfshark VPN.
Surfshark. It's what's for dinner.
Jesus. I kind of loved all of that.
Yeah, it was terrible, but it was great.
Yeah.